Hi, here's a data grid component that I've been working on for a little while. Actually, I've only been using Python and JavaScript and Web2py for maybe 3 months, so it's a bit rough. But essentially, this grid is a replacement for the smart grid. I quite like the smart grid. It was good to get me started, but I hit some problems with it, probably more my lack of knowledge than problems with the grid, but there are other things that I wanted to improve. So I decided to use Datatables.net, which is what this grid here is. It's a free component, and so anybody can use it. If you find this useful, then I'm very happy for you to have the source code if you think it can be helpful. Okay, so this app is very rough, and it doesn't live anywhere other than on my computer. Everything inside here comes from this controller function, and just pass in the name of the table, and it kind of builds this grid automatically. The icon is a special field that comes from the table that I've added, the table name, and then all the standard Datatables.net functionality like searching and ordering and so on. One of the things that I wanted in this Web2py Smart Grid, which you can do but I struggled a bit with, was just having custom links, and particularly icons. I didn't want words to take up a whole pile of space. So this is a pretty simple custom link, just an icon that I've specified, and I've specified the URL, and it will take you off to another one of these grids, just filtered this time on whatever we passed into it. You can see the filter up here. So it's a really easy way of navigating your data structure. One of the things that's really nice with data tables is this child fields functionality. It automatically pushes columns that don't fit into this child field section, and the way it also allows you to force things into this child field section, which I've been able to make good use of. So I've been able to keep often a small table, but still have all the data just hidden away inside the child area. One of the things that Web2py's grid did, which was cool, was automatically showed references to other tables. So these are the links or the references to other tables that you'd see in the smart grid. Again, the icons are just coming from an icon that you can specify in the table definition. So if you don't have an icon, obviously you don't get an icon, and you don't get icons here. You just get the name of the table. Okay, so maybe we look at teaching groups, the teaching groups in the organization, and again it just filters it the same way as I already showed. One of the other things that I wanted to improve with the smart grid was the adding and editing. So you can see the little edit icon here, which you can use to pop up a modal form rather than going off to another page, which is the way smart grid does it. And the modal is a little smart. It automatically puts tabs in because I had some tables that are really long and I was sick of scrolling. And you can name these tabs and kind of configure whatever groups of controls you want. Also, the disabling of the fields, it knows that we're working on this organization, so we don't want to change the organization name, so it kind of automatically disables it. And likewise, if we add something in, I don't know, let's say my group, it automatically puts in and disables the organization, so that okay, I did it again though. I got a small bug there. I'm not exactly certain why that happens, but I need to get to the bottom of that. So it doesn't go off and reload the whole table, which is good. So it's kind of just using Ajax to refresh the single row that you change, and then of course you can delete them and delete the extra one. I don't know why I did that. And it's all kind of done through Ajax, so you're not having to jump off to other pages, which kind of feels a little bit last century. Okay, a few other things. Let's say media. So you can tell it that a particular file reference is an image, and it'll try to grab that image for you and put it in there. And this is just rendering an image. It just knows that it's an image, and so it renders it automatically. And of course, again, it builds all the links. You can see here also that there's a couple of options to just filter on certain, on a subset of records. So there's quite a few here, but you could put in 500 and it'll go off and grab the last 500 records, which is handy when I'm looking at an event log or something like that. It's also possible to do master detail forms. So this is the master form, and if we choose something, it goes off and just rebuilds the table, and you've got a master detail form, which is quite nice. It requires a little bit of code in the front end, but the table sends back an ID, and then you can just use that ID to generate another table. It's only not too many lines of code to do that. And so it's a very easy way of getting this if that's what you want. Master detail forms are not so much in vogue these days. And then, of course, if you can put 2 forms on, you should be able to put more forms on, and so grids, I should say. So this is kind of a checking page that I wanted just to make certain that the data that I thought was going in was correct. So it's pretty easy just to drop in as many tables as you want and filter them how you need. And of course they all remain editable as well, so you can all get to each of these records and manipulate them here, all without going away from the page. Okay, so if you think that could be helpful to you and you'd like to use it, contact me somehow, and I'll make the source code available. Cheers.